let's start with a pretty obvious question. This film is based on a novel, and the writer of the novel, Olivier Guèze, he also did a lot of historical research. He did a lot of the factual work that he did in a way for you. What got you interested in the book, in the project, in the topic? Did somebody approach you, or did you want to do this film and bid for the rights?
Yeah, it's quite a tricky story, strange story. It's a French film actually, in German and Spanish and Portuguese, but it's French, and it was Charles Gilbert who proposed me to think over the possibility of making the film on Olivier Guèze book, and I was wondering kind of how it's possible. I'm not German, and Mengele, I just heard about this character, about this monster, but could even have no idea about how to shoot this, and it was quite long journey. It started even before the war. I mean, the Russian aggression against Ukraine, and it took quite a long time to come to an end, to hear where we are. And for me, of course I use the book. Actually, all info about Mengele is in the book, and Olivier Guèze made an enormous job to collect all possible information about this character, about this person, and of course a very important source for me was the interview of Rolf Mengele. It's available in YouTube, I guess, and for me this interview kind of gave me an idea to focus on this relationship, on this line of son and father, because the book of Olivier Guèze contains a lot of other topics, how Mossad tries to catch Eichmann and Mengele, about the previous life of Mengele, and so a lot of other topics, but film is not is something kind of not that big as a book, and it's completely other media, and I decided to make a film about the questions, about the very painful and difficult questions of the son who comes to his father asking, "What did you do in Auschwitz, dear father?"
Exactly. I thought also that probably the book you could read pretty much as a straight historical novel based on a lot of research. Your film, to me, looked very much as like an interpretation, very strictly. It's very subjective, although we don't know who is actually the subject behind it, or it's more like it's not an individual in a way. Yeah. Maybe you can name one or two things from the storyline where you hooked or where you found first approaches to how you could do this.
I was kind of touched, and I was bitten by a famous and extraordinary book by Jonathan Littell. I don't know how to
say again.
Jonathan Littell.
Jonathan Littell, yeah. Les Bienveillants.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a huge historical novel about a perpetrator, yeah.
Yeah, about the Nazi officer, and it's for the first time for me that the camera is in his head. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So it's from the point of view of Nazi officer. Littell showed us all fields of Second World War, all main kind of how to say scenario stages of the war from the point of view of Nazi officer, And here I decided I do the same. I just put the camera inside of Mengele's brain. And of course, this approach immediately destroys other perspectives. So we can't take other points of view. So in the film we have only what Mengele can see, what Mengele can know, and nothing else.
It's great that you explain it a little bit, because I was really wondering about it all the time, but now I understand it's a point of view from within, so it's a mirroring of his mental processes, yeah, and then you take quite some time, more than 1 hour, until Rolf gets him to the point where he's able to, it's still a vision in a way, it's distorted, yeah, but then something happens. We have to talk about it anyway, let's do it right now already. This sequence, this crucial sequence, yeah, there are so many things going on. The camera comes into it in the second shot. First there is something like an Orthodox flashback, but then a Nazi officer starts to film, and then this orchestra comes. I was wondering, I was assuming that the shots that you, or is there actual material from the selections in Auschwitz, like film material where we can see Mengele? Or
they destroyed it, almost everything. We have just few frames, and we reinvented. We imagined, okay, if they have the camera in the hand, how they can do it, how it could be. That's it.
Okay, because this is a very interesting thing. It looks exactly like a reconstruction, or like you based it on found footage, but the found footage does not exist. Godard always said this movie has to be somewhere, but it was never found. Yeah, that's very interesting. Can you say a little bit more about this? Because you're doing a lot of things in this scene. About the music, what is the music? What kind of music?
It's
how did you?
Richard Strauss, actually. Yeah, it's 2 songs by Richard Strauss, and we have Wagner music, of course, in the film. But the original score was composed by Ilya Dimutsky, very good composer. He lives now in France, and we used to work starting from the film Student, and he won a European Oscar for the music. So it's like, and he worked with me in Bolshoi Theater. He composed the ballet Nureyev, and now we're gonna do the revival of this big project in Staatsballett in Berlin. So we work together constantly. So, and of course this sequence was very difficult in terms of making, because it's big responsibility to portrait the people who destroyed in Auschwitz. That's why for me and for the whole team was most difficult craft, if I can use this word. I asked the people to find the real prototype, the same faces as we got from Auschwitz, original faces of the prisoners who were destroyed later on, of course, and we used and we found the same faces. So I explained the people in the set that they portraiting the real people, and they have to behave as the real people. So it was quite difficult and very psychologically difficult shooting, of course. But the people, all these victims deserve to be deserve our special relation or special approach to what they do, what we do in the film.
Exactly. I'm sure this was psychologically very difficult, because you have to remake. Actually, you had to cast actually people who looked like these victims. Yeah, then you had to film with them the scenes. One scene is actually particular where two people are shot even. Yeah, so and you did all this like in a way to establish what, like to give us an idea about how the Nazis enjoyed this in a way. Yeah, so you put us in a position.
At the same moment, I need it, and I need to explain what Mengele did in Auschwitz. Otherwise, it's not clear. Somebody might think that okay, he's a doctor, probably he helped the people, he healed the people. What normally the doctors do in the concentration camps, right? So it was very important to show. I know that there are some voices saying, look, it's not possible to show this. Yes, we showed just 1% of what really happened in Auschwitz. And our first screening we organized for the families of the survivors of the Auschwitz, and because I needed their okay for this, because I had no idea whether it would work or not, is it right or not. And after we showed the film to the people who lost like the whole family in Auschwitz, just from 65 people, like 4 left, and like this. And they told us, yes, it's nothing in comparison what really happened to our relatives, to our families. But you're right; it's important to show. So when that, they gave me the kind of emotionally, they gave it me. They gave me force, to power to continue working on the film.
Exactly, because this touches a very important point in the history of films about, let's say, Auschwitz. Yeah, and Claude Lanzmann especially said there should never be images, and he was very critical against Steven Spielberg, for example. And Lanzmann, we don't want to know what he would have said about your scene, because, But the interesting point is, since there is no position to tell about Mengele that is safe anyway, and you already explained to us that we are inside of Mengele in a way the whole time, yeah. So this scene is the radicalization of this point, yeah.
Yeah, it's important because look. The famous author of film Shoah told this like 30 years ago, right? 30 or even more. Now the time is completely different. The people are just forgetting it. Mm-hmm. They have no idea, have no clue about these terrible things. About anti-Semitism, about this, the murdering of people in the ovens, about this bloody experiments of the Nazi in Mengele laboratory. Let's say laboratory. It was not an actual laboratory. It was something else. But yeah, our task, our job is to recall, to remind the people, and then and again and again. Otherwise, it will come back and can repeat.
Tell us a bit about August Diehl, who does really something quite extraordinary. I was wondering maybe that you might have shot in chronological order and reshuffled afterwards in the editing. Would that have been easier for him to play, because he has so many different states of mind, so to speak?
We filmed him in chronological order.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense in a way, yeah. How much did you have to help him, or how much was this like a solo job and he just went?
Look, the main topic, the main issue about shooting was we watch each take very precisely concerning the question, do you feel pity about him or not? Mm-hmm. So we didn't want to to get to have any self-pitying or pitying of this character on the screen. At the same moment, it shouldn't be just critical, some critical overacting. You know how sometimes the actors just show the how to say. The other side of the character, dark side. But August is a method actor, and we're really close in it because I'm from Moscow Art Theater School as well, and it's a school which saying always about the acting, like the actors should be instead of pretending. No pretending, just being. And being the character like this, you need to justify him in a way. You need to protect him. You can't just judge him or somehow. It's very tricky. It was very, very difficult and how to say. We had no idea how to do this, so it was door to the void, to nothing. We started together and finished it together, and now we're working. It was the first project. Now we're working in the theater together, so we kind of became couple of some people who understand each other and who can do it even without talking. We call this Bluetooth. So our personal Bluetooth. I know that he is an extraordinary artist, an extraordinary actor, an extraordinary character. Because for German-speaking person, for German, playing Mengele is a very big weight. It's a very big pressure on the shoulders. My kind of perspective as a Russian is completely different. So for me, it's like, okay, part of the Second World War. I never again, and I'm pretty kind of confident about this. Mm-hmm. But for German speaking, it's much more complicated. And he made it. He made it, and he made it brilliantly.
One more question from me before we invite the audience. Maybe you can give us roughly a timeline about the project, because you've been living in Western Europe for quite some time already, before 2022.
We started before the war, so
exactly.
It was like
I wanted to know all this, because now you cannot get back to Russia basically anymore. Yeah, you have been more. You're now doomed to live with us in a way, but the project started.
I'm sentenced to live here. Yeah.
Sentenced, that is the word. Exactly. Like, how much did this thing in February 2022, how much did it maybe still influence? Or like, is there something in the film that touches also this other obscenity that we are living with now?
It was after the war started, paradoxically, but I felt better and I understood better the topic of the film. Because you start living exactly in the same tension, the tension of the war, the tension of terrible things, and you understand it not by distance, but kind of on your skin or even inside. So for me, the question of war criminals and the justice and fair or not fair things, it's very important now. We're all waiting for or looking for or expecting some consequences of today. Today they're trying to stop the war. By the way,
they are actually doing it really
right
today?
Now. Right. This second.
Is it Trump again?
It's Trump and Zelensky in New York,
yeah.
And Zelensky saying and Trump saying that he had a talk with Putin, and Zelensky saying that he had a lot of things, and they say, it's time to stop. So it probably kind of we're in a crucial point of the history.
That's possible, and we are sitting here in the cinema, and when we go out, we will get back to the timelines and
we go out of here to the completely other world.
Mm-hmm. Is anybody in the audience who would like to ask a question to, yes?
Is it working? Yeah. Thanks for the film. Just a question in regard to the scene with the wedding. How was it shot? It seems so seamlessly, like being shot in one shot only. Was it like that?
With what? With wedding? Yeah, it was one shot. We rehearsed it for 4 days, and it was one shot.
Great scene. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was interesting.
You seem to like to build bigger sequences, yeah? There's something like 10 minutes, 15 minutes blocks in the movie, yeah?
I like it because it gives the audience a feeling that it's true. Because the editing, it's from one side it's a mysterious thing, but from the other side it's giving a fake. Because you can cut everything with everything, and you can pretend that it's a famous Kuleshov effect. The person looked at the the plate with the soup, and we understand that manipulation, exactly. But it was not the soup, it was not this face. It was other something different completely. Manipulation. Mm-hmm. So long takes avoid the manipulation.
I want to be honest. I don't like the saying of this film, because the film seems to me that Mengele is a star. We can identify with him. I have midlight with him. That's not that what he is for me. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So I don't know him. Yeah, but so if you see this film, only this film, you say, who is something like an outlaw, and you.
We did our best not
like
to have
That's
this in the film.
Excuse me.
Yeah. No, of course, it's your opinion. You can have it.
One more, please.
Yeah.
What was the idea of painting in black and white and his past?
Because his past is the happiest part of his life. His life in Paraguay or Argentina is full of anxious anxiety, fears, shadows, ghosts, and so on and so on. And his past is kind of tricky, but for somebody, Auschwitz is kind of the dead end and the last day of the life. But for Mengele, like the beginning of his life, he is in love. He has a son, an amazing wife, and he has a good career, and he hoping for all better, all good. So that's why, in a way, it's kind of such a jump or twist, let's say.
Eine Frage im hinteren Bereich.
Just would like to ask, as Russian filmmaker, do you feel some responsibility for what is going on in Russia? For example, and the second question, do you plan something to do about the Russian-Ukrainian war? Thank you.
I don't believe in collective responsibility. I believe in personal responsibility. I did my best to stop what happened in Russia. That's why I'm here. And I know a lot of people who did their best to confront the regime, which rules now in Russia, and they're not. They're under terrible repressions. My former student Zhenya Berkovich now in the prison for just anti-war poetry and for the theater play. So it's a sad and dark story. We tried to confront this, but we failed in a way, because the regime is very strong, and they paid a lot of money to the secret services, to the all other people who are working for them now, and that's it. So I think the question of responsibility and the responsibility of the Russian people and the responsibility for the war will happen a little bit later. The Russian, I started, I didn't want to start this topic, but anyway, this war is absolutely suicide, it's self-murdering. And sooner or later, the questions of responsibility will come, and it will be a very difficult process for Russia.
Ukraine actually is insisting that there will be something like a Nuremberg trial.
I don't feel
will be difficult, but something like that. And Mengele escaped this type of justice.
A lot of, not just Mengele, a lot of people.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And the question or the discussion with you would be: is there some kind of like justice that Mengele gets from the movie, or some kind of like? If we see that maybe time did something to him that was at least a small equivalent to what a trial could have been. Anyway, that's
my idea was that the justice coming from inside. Mm-hmm. So the life in fear and under this terrible pressure, without possibility to go out of his dark corner, is a punishment. Is a real punishment.
Yeah, that's how I saw it too. But interestingly, you give him something like a phantasmic redemption in the candomblé scene when he sits on the easel. But that's another thing. We could discuss that endlessly. It was really great that you came to Vienna to give us.
Thank you so much.
There would be another question from the back.
Okay, let's take this.
Thank you very much for your movie. I'm really interested in the topic of revenge, and if you wanted to put a special emphasis on this, because I feel like it was not really taken into consideration that much, but like he really feels like this really haunted person in the end, where he is really afraid of like the revenge, or like this, like I'm really interested in this like German angst of like the Jews taking revenge for what they did to you. So this is something, did you have that in mind, or was this not something that you really wanted to take in consideration?
No,
Thank you.
Actually, this you questioning you answered yourself. Yeah, it's about the angst. It's about the anxiety and the fear, which, as we know, destroys the soul, and the punishment comes from inside, and Mengele lived a terrible life. His bones and skull now is an object in the hands of students in São Paulo Medical Institute. So he was buried under a different name, and so I think it's proved that this life, the revenge, and the punishment on the justice has different, let's say, various versions or faces in this case. So in his case, it's disgrace and the losing of identity and just disappearance, not only disappearance from the justice, but physical and mental and psychological disappearance as a human being. It's what we wanted to say, to achieve, to show in this film.
It's great that we had this final question, because I think in the end this film can only be a film interested in the question of justice, and we saw it. Now let's get out and look what's going on in Washington tonight. Thank you, Kirill, Serebrennikow.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.